One of the ways to kickstart your tomatoes is to make sure your soil beds are warm. What I do is I put my hand in the soil, and if it feels comfortable, I know it's time to plant. About 3 weeks ago, we added gypsum to this bed because the tomatoes need a high amount of calcium. We also added compost to the bed to bring down the pH levels because tomatoes like a slightly acidic soil. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put stakes in our bed. It's best to put your stakes in before you plant the tomatoes, or you can have root disturbance if you put it in afterwards. I like to use the metal waratahs as my tomato stakes. A lot of the wood stakes are treated, and those that aren't rot after a year or two. The metal waratahs are incredibly strong, and once the tomato has fruit on it, there's a lot of weight for them to carry. I've put my waratah stakes about 1 metre apart. I've done this because I want a lot of air movement around my tomato plants because of our humidity issue. Also, I'm going to plant basil and companion plants around it, and I want these guys to have plenty of space to spread. First, we dig a deep hole. The next thing we're going to do is plant our tomatoes. What we're going to do is, because they've got long stalks, we're going to bury them quite deep. If we were to plant them at surface level and we get strong winds, they could snap off. And also, if we plant them higher up in the ground, this area here will turn into roots and will make the tomato much stronger. Now that it's planted, we're going to add a little bit of multi-mineral fertiliser. This is the rock dust with the seaweed, just to give it a good start in life. This bed's got lovely deep soil in it. But if your bed has got only shallow soil, or it's a little bit cooler and down below, you can plant your tomato a long ways in the ground. You can do this by laying it sideways. We can put our tomato like this, cover it over, and all the rest of the stem will form roots and still be a really strong plant. It will then grow upwards like this towards the sun, and you can stake it in the upcoming weeks. It's not important to remove the leaves of the stalks that you're burying in the ground. These will just rot off. By removing them, you're just opening it up for infection. Also, if you haven't put your calcium in the soil yet, it's not too late. You can sprinkle it around the tomato plant and it will feed it when it rains. We've left our waratahs about 6 feet tall, so when the tomatoes do start to fruit, we can cover them with a bird netting. And all we have to do now is give them a good water. We're not going to feed them any liquid feed for a few weeks now, until they set their flowers.